Hi, I'm Bran, and I love When Calls the Heart.
Hi, I'm Jax, and I like When Calls the Heart.
I'm Dan, and 2 years ago I called Team Nathan. Just saying, this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Wow, hello. Double deckers,
Yeah.
Hardies,
Yep.
Randos. Great to be here today.
I mean, it's a big week. It's a big week for a number of reasons. I think first and foremost, we have to get out of the way first. Jax was right. Jax hit the nail on the head.
Oh, hold on.
She was right. Oh, we have to say that. I want to be like, you want to give people the credit. She was right.
I appreciate that, but as you said in our intro,
Yes.
you've been right for even longer.
Well,
so I
different
feel
right,
like
but
we're
yeah,
betting
I mean,
about
I did say it all the way back. I was listening to the best of, and it comes up on the best of, and I was
It
like,
does.
man,
Hearing
called that 23 episodes ago, huh?
Hearing the journey of last season was really fun.
Yeah,
To
I'm not
kinda
there yet.
To hear it.
Yeah.
Hear it all happen. Also, got to get this out of the way. Ralph, we are going to get back to you. Ralph, like he keeps asking, and we're like, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
We are going to get back to you. There's just so many other things we would rather do. But we will get back to you,
What
Ralph.
we're doing, like, it's very Ralph's. It's inconvenient.
It's inconvenient what he's asking.
We're helping him out,
Right.
and so yeah, we're going to get there. We just can't get there right now.
It's a big week.
It's a big
Ralph.
week.
Jax, how are you, pal?
I'm great. How do I know who Ralph is?
You should.
Yeah. I think we all know. We all know a
Or
Ralph.
Oh my gosh, of
Did
course.
you already block him? I mean, a lot of our guests, a lot of our regular
already
hosts
blocked
do block Ralph.
That's not true.
Maybe he just doesn't even get. Maybe he's sitting in my inbox and I don't even know he's there.
Could be that.
That is.
He goes to a completely different folder.
So what's the latest between you and
Ted.
We haven't talked about
Yeah,
Ted
so-
in a long time.
That's right.
Yeah, we haven't, and I'm gonna be honest. We're not currently in communication.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Ted's your
things
Ralph.
got a little weird.
Ted's your Ralph.
Ted, you're Ralph.
Well, he decided not to fly me back and forth this year. He said he would foot the bill for Bramblefest, but then you guys offered to do it.
Yeah,
And
I love
I
how
got
in the
a
middle of your improv, you realized that you were taking credit away from us paying for your travel. And you were like, I can't do that to the boys, even though we would have been totally fine with it. Would you think we're going to pipe up and go, Jack, you're on United out of Newark, and those $200 we will not get back.
You did get me a very nice flight, and I can't credit it to
From
Ted.
your favorite
I just
airport.
can't. I love Newark. That's actually, I'm going to LA tomorrow. I'm flying out of Newark. I
Yeah.
guess it's just
Shout
my
out.
airport.
That's God's airport.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Good food options. Good, but we're no longer in communication. I did get a weird email from his wife, and I just decided it's better to let it lie.
Yeah, probably best. Do you know, let me ask you this. You know, in LaGuardia and JFK, now all the food is streamlined to where you sit down and you order basically the same food no matter what terminal you're in. At least that was.
Yes.
But is Newark not like that anymore?
Newark's not
See,
like that. It's a real experience.
If I knew
you get
I had
to
to
go.
sit in Newark, one of those three airports, what they've done at JFK and LaGuardia, like, it sucks.
It's a crime.
Like, I
Yes.
don't want
Sit
streamlined
down.
food. Yes.
Order the
No, I
dumb
don't.
thing
And it's
through
like,
the dumb
I
app.
just paid $28 for a cheeseburger that's bad. Like, I would rather go to a
want real
chain restaurant
stuff.
that I know.
100%. I also like, even if the food that I want is not in the terminal that I'm in, I like being excited or disappointed by that. Like, I want that to be the experience.
Rena says, don't we all fly out of Newark? It's so much better than LaGuardia and JFK now.
Irina, she knows.
Jax, I weirdly agree with you on that. There's something about going to an airport, I'm going to get some food there, and then either being pleasantly delighted by your options, or there's something about rolling the dice and being like, well, we rolled snake eyes, but we had a chance for a Qdoba.
Well, I think we would all agree.
It was there. We could have gotten one. We didn't know.
I think we would all agree the Smash Burger in Terminal C of Charlotte is the perfect
full credit
the
to,
perfect airport restaurant.
Full credit to producer Aaron Shea.
It's perfect.
Was it 9 a.m. yet? I think it was like 7 a.m.
It is the perfect.
And she was like, "We should get Smash Burgers from this place called." Please, unmute her.
It's called Smash Burger.
It's called Smash Burger.
So what happened is we had flown from Greenville to Charlotte. It's super early. We're on our way to New York. We turn the corner and there is a giant, like floor-to-ceiling poster of the Smash Burger. It looked amazing, and I was like, guys, I know it's like 8 a.m., but that's what I want. And they were open. We got, was it Parmesan or truffle fries or something?
I was fully prepared to take one bite of this burger and be like, I wasted $20, whatever. This burger can't be good enough for me to eat.
It was magical.
And it was delightful.
I've had it since then,
And they were serving at 8 a.m.
Yeah. I've had it there. I've had it since.
There was a line for burgers. It was a great life choice.
It's been great both times.
You had it again.
I've had it since, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have,
Brian
Brandon?
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
Get
so
one, and that's on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course he didn't. Yeah, he's on whatever.
Well, we've all seen him shirtless, and we will again.
Yeah.
We
So-
will again.
He's probably,
Isn't he taking off his shirt
he's
this year?
literally told me he won't under any circumstances. That's what he's told me.
I mean, that's
Wait, I didn't know that. Is that because he was embarrassed, or
I
like
think-
he felt bad because he made the rest of
I
us
think
look
Bri
bad?
likes to live under the radar. I think he likes to live under the radar a little bit. And I think he was like, there's no way. But maybe it's a don't make me sing bit. Maybe
Right.
he's doing that so that we will continue to ask.
Dear diary, I really hope somebody asks
That's right,
me to take
yes.
my shirt off today.
I'm worth one thing in this life. If they don't ask me to go shirtless at Bramblefest, I don't think I could live another day.
I think that's
I
what
love
rubs
this
me.
voice that we're both doing for Brian and his diary. Dear diary.
That's what rubs me the wrong way about Ralph, though, is that's totally
Yeah.
how he operates.
He is, yeah.
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 Pisses me off, man.
Yeah, he got just a bruise tattoo too, which is weird. Like why would you get just a bruise tattooed on you? That's a weird thing. Like on your ribs, it's just a giant. But why did he do that?
Yeah. Well, he wants people to ask about it.
Yeah. Don't ask about my
Drives me
tattoo.
nuts.
Yeah, it was a kickboxing accident.
Yeah, and he put you can when he reaches up, you can see a little up. It's so annoying.
And he groans every
Yes.
time. He's like, "Oh my!"
It's so
my-"
annoying.
Like, Ralph, you've been doing this bit for 5 years, dude.
We know it's not real.
Come on, Ralph.
Run to You is the name of the episode.
He always gets a toothpick on the way into the restaurant. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what
he's
you're
that
talking
guy. Like we're all there at the hostess station. We're about to sit down, and he gets a toothpick, and he picks it all meal.
All meal.
While he's talking to
All
you.
meal.
The worst human being.
And
We'll get to you, Ralph. We'll get to you.
we'll occasionally, like if he takes a big bite, go, as if like somehow that's affecting the fake bruise.
Yeah.
Like somehow eating a big bite would make your
But yeah, he
hypothetical
reaches
bruise
here with his
on your
toothpick,
rib.
and I don't understand.
We'll get to you.
He chooses death metal at karaoke. Like
We'll
who
get to you.
chooses? He chooses death metal at karaoke.
Sounds like a good time.
He sounds
Yeah, he
like a
does.
good
That's
guy.
the thing that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Is he pulls it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like anti-Brian, where he's like showing you that he's good at it, but he actually has the talent to back it up, and we just hate Ralph.
I don't know.
June 16th, 2024.
Bruise tattoo, guys. I don't care how
What a little,
talented you are.
what a little, that's
Bruise
too much.
tattoo? Yes.
Like this.
This is why people are listening, by the way. Go
The
ahead.
town is abuzz about the resort and all that has transpired with it not being the resort anymore.
Transpired like it was 2 words.
Yeah, transpired.
Transpired.
Rosemary tells Elizabeth that she needs to hurry things along with Nathan. She's going too slow. Fair.
What?
Bill then tells Nathan the same thing. It was at this point that I think to myself, something might be happening in this episode. Randall Rockwell comes into town to talk to Rosemary because he thinks that there's more to this story about why the resort's not happening and the shooting and all of that stuff. And Rosemary agrees, and they agree that they're going to work together on this story. They're going to
Tomorrow.
put their heads together,
Yes.
and they're going to get to work on this. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's had a long day.
Yeah. Lucas's New Orleans boo thing comes to talk to him again, even though he told her to kick rocks. May tells Frickham that her brother is coming into town, so he decides, since you got family coming into town, I'm going to propose now. I'm going to propose to you now, and then we'll get married then. We don't know when they're going to come back into town, so let's...
Yeah.
I want you to know. And so they're going to get married.
It's your brother. This is the only man around. It's the patriarchy.
I
got to ask him.
I was begging for a proposal this season. We got it.
You got it.
We got it. Not from the couple I cared about,
Ned
but yeah.
and Florence. I think it's Florence. Hickam and
Love to
Maysu.
see.
Everybody.
Everybody in Hope Valley moves at the proper speed aside from Elizabeth and whoever she's into. Jeanette tells Lucas that she warned him that declining the deal might make Shaw mad, and he's on his way over here now. Shaw's. So Gowan gets all the important males of Hope Valley together to go and make sure that nobody enters Hope Valley.
All the
they don't want
males and Hickam.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. So they go try to find out, like, where's this guy coming from. Once they leave the room, Jeanette tries to kiss Lucas, and he's like, no, thank you, madam, and then tells her to stay put. He hops on a horse, and
Did you say horse?
Oh,
sorry, I was really in.
No problem, bud.
What you were doing? I'm a big Hardy.
Yeah, I know you
I
are.
love the Hardys.
I know you.
I think Elizabeth should end up with.
Who's that?
My pants sounded dirty.
Oh no! Can't say that.
Certainly can't. Rig got out of hand.
I need to
we
cut
can
that.
edit it. We can cut it.
So anyway, he hops on his horse, and she goes outside and uses the sun to make a little light to the mirror and gives a signal to somebody hanging out in the woods that all the important males missed. They didn't see the guy in the woods.
You couldn't see him.
Rosemary and Randall discuss Lucas's case, and Rosemary learns that Randall never doesn't even know who his source is. But I was able to vet the information with all the Mounties. But the Mounties were you can't blame this on me. I'm not at fault. Rosemary is now wondering whether or not the source could be the shooter himself to throw him off the scent. Randall is like, well, the shooter, the source actually sent me a letter not too long ago urging me to shut my mouth.
And this is when he becomes an expert in the handwriting.
Yes. They look at this letter, and Rosemary's like, hold on one second. And then they compare it to the handwriting of Jeanette, and they realize that it is the same handwriting. So she goes to warn Lucas, but gets stopped by Jeanette. It's at this point that we think Shaw, walks in and holds Rosemary at gunpoint. Then Elizabeth walks in, double gunpoint. Uh-oh. Classic Elizabeth being held at gunpoint again. Randall goes to find Lucas, which he does finally out in the woods. And he fills them in on what they have found. They put it all together. There is no Shaw. Jeanette is Shaw. So Lucas walks in and is like, honey, I'm home. Then Nathan crawls through the window. Bill comes through the front door and takes the guy's gun that it's not Shaw, but we thought it was Shaw, but it's the guy. Takes that gun. But then the guy takes Elizabeth up the stairs. Now the saloon's surrounded by Mounties, and Nathan runs up the stairs to try to save Elizabeth, and is able to save her by pushing her off the balcony. But they fall in hay. They roll around. They roll around in the hay.
They give each other a look like,
they roll around in the hay.
They roll in the hay. That's exactly right.
The Mounties win and arrest the baddies, and Jeanette's like, I loved you, and you didn't love me, so I had to do this, and I could, whatever. Yeah. Who cares?
And that, my friends, was when caught. No, there's more.
The episode ends when Nathan comes to see Elizabeth later that night, and she tells him how much she likes him, and how he feels like home to her, and how good looking he is in the red and in the suspenders, unbuttoned. She says, I'm in love with you. He says nothing, but just walks up to her and kisses her hard. Kisses her hard. And then he says, I've never stopped loving you. And they kiss some more. And that, my friends, was When Calls the Heart, Season 11. 11's 11. Run to you. Sorry, I got
to you. We did it.
We did do it. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this episode down here on Deck the Hallmark. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are talking about When Calls the Heart, Season 11, Episode 11, the penultimate episode of Season 11. Run to you.
Feel like something was supposed to happen this week.
Seems like it was promised.
Yeah.
Let's get to the hot take. It is where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. Big episode, big hot takes, I'm sure. Jax, what'd you think?
This episode read to me, and I mean this is a compliment because I think fan fiction is very often better than the actual source material itself, but it read like Team Nathan fan fiction. Right?
Down to the surge and suspenders.
Exactly.
Yes.
It was like she had undone everything that had happened with Lucas. And look, like, I'm not saying that fear-based wasn't a part of it. I think that could be. But it really discounted everything she had with Lucas in a way that was kind of heartbreaking to me. Because you can also love two people at the same time and also be scared and all these things. But it wasn't. So that was a little bit like, ugh. However, I will say that kiss, worth waiting for. The hands on the back. Owie, owie, baby. Wow.
I
Yeah,
didn't
was
like
that really
the close-up on
good?
the hands. I found it
was
to
a
be weird.
Like, it was a
You liked
weird
it?
close-up of him, like, clasping his own hands together.
You liked it?
It's not a close-up of him pulling her closer. He just does this like he's sitting at a poker table with a great hand. He's just like ready to twiddle his thumbs. Ew.
Can I say, you guys are not wrong, but what it evoked, I'm just going to be candid, what it evoked in me is thinking of their genitals being pressed together.
His hands doing
I
this.
because it was like the way.
Oh gosh, I
the
think
way
I have to
he
go
did
be
it.
somewhere. I no longer want to do this.
I don't know how you got there, Jax.
I
don't
believe
know.
we didn't think about their
Dude,
genitals.
I did. I said it, but you must have missed it. Ralph's the one that said it.
Ralph did say
He's
that.
like, oh, that's their genitals.
I couldn't think of anything else. Like that when he did that, I was like, oh, they're really like now they're like,
But it
like
was
really.
just his hand touching his hand.
Yeah, but I think he was pushing her towards
I don't
him.
think so. I literally think it just was this.
But like it was like all in there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It
Deck
wasn't.
the Hallmark is now TVMA, apparently.
I'm sorry. I just had to set the record straight. I wonder
I mean,
if
considering
anyone
how,
else
like,
is having
every
my
time Nathan says anything to Elizabeth looks like she's having a full experience. I guess that those hands could be the When Calls the Heart version of sex. I guess. It's a lot, but I guess.
Dan, thank you for calling it the full experience. That is the classy way that I will refer to it from here on out because she does. And I will tell you the other moment in this that gave me the full experience is when Jeanette and Lucas go all Mr. and Mrs. Smith and they hug after she doesn't shoot him. I was like, okay, now this is where we're cooking with gas here. I thought it was an exciting episode. And then of course May and Frickum got engaged and that was sweet, if not a little rushed. First of all, I appreciate you guys always get when the patriarchy is hard at work. However, I actually just thought this was Hickam being like, you got no family and this is the only time someone you know was going to roll into town. I was like, okay, sure, let's do it. Also, we need a wedding this
As soon as he was like, so your brother's coming to town, in my head I was like, of course he's going to wait for some dude in her life. Like I immediately was like, what? Does that have to do with anything?
I think she doesn't have anybody else.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
That is sad.
That was, there was something about it that he's like, there's no one else in your, and look, we're all in the smog of the patriarchy, but I would say of all the men in this episode, which I loved how you were referring to them as characterizing them. What did you say, Bran?
All the important men in town.
All the important men in town. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Hickam is least caught up in the smog of the patriarchy, but yes, it was an action-packed episode.
No.
Right?
I even more excited than I was for the kiss, which I I was excited to hear Brand's reaction. So I can't wait to hear your hot take, Brand.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it was a really it was a good kiss. And now that I know that their genitals were touching, like
it's hard. Yeah,
it takes it to a totally different level.
That's right.
Yeah, I think overall, was I surprised that Jeanette was Shaw? No, it wasn't, because it definitely wasn't going to be whoever that guy was.
The guy that had one line.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't going to be that guy. So it made sense. A couple things that I would have liked to have happened in this episode. One, I would have liked for Jeanette to shoot Lucas. I would have liked for it to just happen. I would have liked for that to happen.
Lucas has no purpose now.
No, he doesn't.
None.
No. And I would have liked for that to happen. Two, I would have liked for Frickum to get shot as well. And I thought it was going to happen. I thought once
you continually have a ever renewing hope in this show.
Once Frickum proposed, and I found out the next scene that there was a threat into town, and Frickum volunteered to be tribute, I thought, great, yes, Frickum's going to get shot, and it's finally something exciting is going to happen, and we're going to do some stuff, and that didn't happen, so I was disappointed. Was the kiss everything that I hoped it would be? Of course it was. But the big mystery of the season, bit of a dud, bit of a letdown, and that's unfortunate. But the kiss was great. There's gonna be many more kisses, hopefully. Many more kisses, hopefully. And so,
wedding next episode.
Wedding next episode is my understanding. Yes. Wedding next episode. Let's Dan. Let's you and I both give our best Elizabeth face.
Okay.
When Nathan does anything. Okay, here I go.
Who are we going first? You?
You go first.
All right, you ready?
You go first. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'll go.
Okay. Are you getting shot?
How was that? Who won? Who won, Jack?
Those were both really good. Really good. I would say I would split the difference a little bit more.
Okay.
And meet in the middle.
All right, Jax, am I allowed to ask you? Can you go, or can you keep it PG? Okay.
Yeah.
Here
well, you have to say something to me that I can react to. Or wait, are we closing a window?
No, I'll say something.
I got it. Go full on her though. Jax, I'd never stop loving you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, we can't air that.
We can't air that.
Did that work?
Philo.tv/DTH.
That was it. That was
If
it.
you are watching on Philo, what are you doing?
You really,
doing?
that is like, that's what she does.
That's actually exactly what she does. It's unbelievable.
I'm happy that she gets to have the full experience so many times.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Dan, what'd you think?
Yeah, so back in season 8, in the finale, I believe Lucas lights every candle on the West Coast, and Elizabeth says that she chooses him, and then they kiss very passionately. Like, the Team Nathan fans were upset because they felt like the show was too racy. That's how passionately they kissed in that. And during that scene, I remember we were all recording that here in, that Greenville. I remember thinking, boy, what a great setup for her and Nathan to kiss in three years. I think we all were, right? I think we all knew.
100%. You saw the, yes. We talked about it afterwards.
Yeah.
We saw the kiss and we thought she's
Nathan's
faking
upset now, but they just had to make it look good.
It was clear that Elizabeth wasn't into it.
That's right. It was clear
I saw that kiss.
By that 60-second long kiss.
And when we said,
with all the we were like, this is a setup.
Fake.
It's boo.
Fake.
Yeah. It was clear that 3 years later, this is where we were.
Clear as crystal.
Look, the kiss is great. They did a great job. The chemistry was there. The kiss was there. The rest of this episode.
Genitals there.
Yeah, genitals there. The rest of this episode and this season has been kind of a disaster. The murder mystery is so far off the rails at this point. I'll get to it my way, but to think you can just do this thing where she's been him the whole time is absurd. It's crazy. We called that she was calling the shots weeks ago on this podcast. It took no work at all. That was miserable. Lucas, there's no reason for him to be in town. There's nothing he really did this season aside from resort yes, resort no. Hickam and Mesu, great. God bless you. Kind of a downer of an episode, but I got to be honest. When Jack said the fan fiction thing, that's when it really all clicked in for me. I was trying to figure out what about Elizabeth's love declaration and some of the earlier scenes, like Rosemary talking to Elizabeth, like you've waited to, like every scene talking about those two characters, it felt like one of our podcast friends would have written it. Like it felt like something that I'm not used to hearing on this program. And then as soon as you said fan fiction, like that's all, it clicked in perfectly. That's all I can think of. Her declaration of love was so far removed from any dialogue I've ever heard in this show before. It was a riot. It was like spit take laughing from me. But the kiss worked, and it's a moment a lot of people have been waiting for. So I'm thrilled for them. And as my shirt says, I have always been. Is that? Oh, you
Can
guys
we get in a little bit? Can we get in a little bit tighter there?
There you go. You see that?
Always Team Nathan.
I never doubted it for a second, and
Wow.
I need you guys to know that. Philo.tv/DTH. So here we are. We did it. We got one episode left. We've set it up for a big finale of nothing. There is nothing they can do in this finale. I'll save it for my feels. Go.
I wanted to see, like, if I typed in write a monologue that Elizabeth would say to Nathan in When Calls the Heart when she finally tells him that she loves him into AI, and like what would pop out. And it's not quite as on the nose
as what they said,
as what the fanfic would be. I've been afraid to admit this to myself and to you, afraid of what it might mean and of the changes that it would bring, but I can't deny it any longer. Nathan, I love you. I love you more than words can say. You are the one who makes my heart feel full. You make me believe in the possibility of a beautiful future. I don't know what lies ahead of us, but I do know that I want to face it with you. I want to be by your side, to share in your joy and your sorrows, to build a life together that is filled with love and happiness. Nathan, you are my heart's true desire.
Man, that's better than what they wrote. It's better than what they wrote.
Fran, you delivered that really well.
Thanks. Again, you can give me pointers. I'm
thought it was
basically a
okay.
child.
No.
What would you say to your child actors there?
Brian, that was so
There it is.
great. Okay, and then I would like work it and I'd say, just the little moment when you said, I don't know what lies, and then you paused. I thought you were going to talk about something that lied. So let's just kind of string that together.
He does
just
that
take
all
that
the
part
time.
again.
Jax, that's just how he reads.
I
When he ends the line, he ends the read.
the other day I lied. I lied to my mom
Cool.
the other
dude.
day.
This
No,
is-
genuinely, I thought it was good, Bran.
Thanks, Jax. It's time for all the feels where we talk about what in this movie gave or episode of it.
We got it.
Gave us feels. Jax.
So look, yes, we're talking about this monologue, this fanfic, but you see Krakow is a Juilliard trained actor. Like she is delivering
Yeah.
it. She is giving it.
Yes.
She's doing that thing where like you see those tears that are in her eyes, but she's holding them back and there's a well of emotion. She killed it. It was awesome. You know, I feel like, if I'm being honest, that was probably kind of it for me. Like the Jeanette and Lucas thing that I already said was like sexy feels, and I talked about that up top. So yes, but I do think that it did come together very nicely with this beautiful monologue, and I am really glad that they kissed. Because it's been a long time coming, and I love to be right.
We are like playfully, like actually praising Erin Krakow. Like, and she knows that, like, they have thrown so much at this poor character in 11 years. It doesn't make a lick of sense. And she always delivers. Always. It doesn't matter. There is no hint of satire anywhere. Like, she
She's so
is
good.
just absolutely delivering every time they ask her to do anything. And her character's tied in knots. Like, it is like, doesn't make
It's just
sense.
like me, what I just did.
Yeah, very. I mean, not as good as that.
Yeah.
She could take a few notes.
A
but,
few notes
you know,
at least.
Yeah. You trained in Julie's yard.
Yeah.
That's what I understand.
It's
It's
crazy
really
there.
tough to get in there. It is
Also,
not.
Brands was a cold read. Aaron had time with it.
That's right.
They haven't mowed that lawn in years.
No, Julie's yard's tough, man.
Crazy. You get lost in there.
Yeah.
So the scene where they jump, he like pushes her and jumps off the side and lands in the hay. I got premature feels. Because when I see that they landed in the hay, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a great moment. And then I ended up just kind of being let down because they just kind of like wake up. Like, I don't
You
like,
just
did
call
they,
those
were they,
disappointing feels is all you would say there.
what's wrong with what I said?
You said premature feels.
Yeah.
Feels before
I
you were
had
supposed
feels,
to
yep.
have them?
Yes.
So
They weren't earned feels.
Got it. Okay.
Once I saw the scene play out, the feels went away.
Okay.
Premature feels.
Okay.
They come to and then they look at each other and they just kind of get off the hay.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be like maybe they like reach over and hold hands for a minute or something. Like I thought there was going to be more to the hay scene than what we got. And I'll get more into the hay in my wait what, because it's also like insane that it happened.
Yes.
But I thought that when I see them wake up in the hay, I thought we were going to get more of a moment.
In fact,
but it didn't happen.
there's so little of a moment there that when
They
you
look at each other, that's it.
when they show a close up on Nathan's face, it looks like he has been sound asleep.
Am
It
I
looks like
wrong,
he has
Jax?
been
Did you see that
sound
happen
asleep.
and go, "Oh yeah, we're getting something good here"?
Oh, 100%. I thought they might kiss there.
I thought,
Yeah.
but I thought
At
at the
the-
very least they're gonna hold hands and just lay there for a second, and then
Yeah,
they're lucky
for sure.
stars. At best, we'll get a full kiss, and we didn't get it. Like like when you look at each other and you realize, oh my gosh, this guy just freaking
Yeah.
pushed me off of a balcony and held me and made me land in hay. Like I thought it was gonna be a kiss.
I can't believe that this was the penultimate episode and not the ultimate episode. What could they possibly?
Wedding.
They're not. All right.
Proposal?
If they did a wedding, and all right, so you have them for literal years not kiss, and he's going to propose the next episode?
We would agree there's no point for him not to, right?
I would agree with that.
Like you've clearly waited
Dave-
longer than you needed to. Now I have said
Okay.
all the things. You make me feel safe, blah blah blah, all this stuff. Let's just go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and propose. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's just do this thing.
I don't disagree, but she kissed,
They gotta do it.
She kissed Mountie Jack, and he proposes years later. She kissed Lucas. He proposes a full season later, which I think is over a year. She kisses Nathan. Propose the next episode.
I think though, like of the three instances, this would be the one where a quick engagement would make sense. Like this has been a very, 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 very long time.
I know that it
coming.
makes no sense to compare this with anything in the past of the show because the show has told us time and time again they have no scruples and don't care. But okay, maybe.
They could
So
get engaged
but my
tomorrow
question is
and
this.
then forget about it next
The
season.
episode is 42 minutes long, and we count every second of that around here. 42 minutes long. What are they going to do for the other 41 minutes?
Isn't it just the May and Mike's wedding? Isn't it
There-
a full wedding episode?
There is no resort. We already know.
Oh yeah, we are getting a
That
wedding
Jeanette-
episode.
You think it's going to be a wedding, and then
It's May. Yeah, it's May and
they just got
Frickums.
engaged.
Right,
just
they
now.
got engaged because brother's coming into town.
Oh, sorry, you guys don't watch the previews. It's the wedding and Fiona's back.
Fiona's back.
Fiona's back.
What?
Jax, you didn't have to
Yeah.
spoil that
You
for us.
spoiled it for
wait,
us.
sorry, you
heck?
guys. Sorry about that. She
so
comes back for the wet.
What
She
we
was saying
have
spoiler
after
alert.
all of the action in this episode, what we have next week is and I'm going to be kind, H and I on the call sheet. H and I on the call sheet, and I love them both. H and I on the call sheet are getting married, and at the end of that wedding, Nathan will steal the thunder of that wedding by proposing to Elizabeth.
In privacy.
That is what we're getting next week. After all of this, who shot Lucas? Will the resort happen? All we're going to get is the wedding of H and I on the call sheet and a proposal.
They're going to be They're going to be walking. He's going to be walking her home, and he's going to be like, "That was really nice," and she was like, "That was really nice," and he's like, maybe we should be
really nice too.
Maybe we should have one of those of our own sometime soon." And she's going to be like, "What are you saying?" And then he's going to get down on one knee and he's going to be like,
they can't do that because you know what I think they're afraid of? I think that they are afraid to have Elizabeth in a stable marriage. Think about it. It's never happened.
Nope.
Jack died right after they got married.
Yeah.
She was with Lucas planning the wedding. Like they're going to want to put off the engagement as long as they can, then have the engagement, then have wedding planning long as they can, then have them married.
Let's just go ahead and start this now. Let's not push the engagement, Bran. Let's go ahead and start this right now. Next season, When Calls the Heart, last season, ends with wedding. You never have to do that Elizabeth thing. You can do this whole year, build up to it, and then roll the credits after the bride and groom kiss, and we never have to.
But if we get a proposal
Boom goes the dynamite.
If we get a proposal to end the season, you're not having hope that next season's the last season. That's not giving you a ton of hope.
It's getting more, to all the Team Nathan people that quit watching the show after she chose Lucas are back. I don't know if you heard. And those people that like us don't like us anymore because now it's serious. When she chose Lucas, it was funny. Now it's serious, Bran. More people watch it now than you. Like, I don't know what, like, it's clearly not going anywhere unless the cast doesn't want to go anywhere. Why would they kill a golden goose?
I never said anything about killing a golden goose.
That's true. That's right.
Don't freaking put words in. Like, I wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't.
Silver
goose?
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't have any attachment. Yeah. Once you start bringing Benny into the mix.
Benny?
He's our golden goose.
Our golden goose is Benny?
Not the same Benny. We named him Benny when we got him.
We named our golden goose Benny.
Benny, yeah.
Do we have a clip of Benny?
No, he's a goose. What would the clip be? Sometimes you don't think. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the Wait What's and the What the Hallmarks here on Deck the Hallmark.
Benny! I'm a goose!
Before the break, I heard Benny, not our Benny.
Yeah, it is our Benny.
No.
He said,
all right, let me get to Benny.
I'm a goose.
Benny.
Benny, you called?
Are you the year guy?
Goose. I'm a golden goose. Benny 2015.
So you are the year guy.
When it was my year, Elizabeth and Jack were a thing.
Right.
Hey.
But Benny, are you a goose?
I killed him. I killed the golden goose, and now it's just me, Benny. Benny, Bo Benny. French fry, Mo Benny. Benny.
What do French fries have to do with it?
It rhymes.
Okay. First of all, it's messed
French
up.
fry didn't rhyme, and you said French fry Mo Mini. I don't know
French
what
fry
that
Mo
means.
Mini. I didn't like for some reason.
I
I
want
thought
mini French fries. You want just one? Mini.
Yo, mini French fries
For
is
Benny.
not a bad idea. That's not a. We'll stay on the air. We'll talk to you after the show.
I'm always here if you call me. Benny.
Don't I know it? It's time for the Wait What, is where we talk about what in this episode made us go, wait, what? Jax.
Aside from that, just now.
No, that was a thing of beauty.
French fry Mo Mini.
My two Wait Whats. I have two. Just the whole idea that the important men of the town are out like trying to save people, but didn't think to warn any of the women is hilarious.
Oh, it's
but
the best. It is
like,
so classic when calls the heart.
So classic. And when Elizabeth walks in and sees Rosemary, and Rosemary says, "Run, Elizabeth," instead of Elizabeth saying what or huh or looking confused, she actually goes straight for the door, which is wild. Like if I walked in the podcast studio and you guys were like, "Jack, run," and I would just go for the door without being like, "What? What's happening?" So that was wild. And then, which I think Bran alluded to, you guys getting into this. I'm sorry, but Nathan taking Elizabeth through a railing
no
up
way.
on a high porch is not safer than like trying to be safe around the gun. Like that was wild to me, and honestly, like kind of got me a little mad. It felt grossly
It was-
irresponsible and dangerous.
It was
and
terrible writing.
also,
Terrible.
honestly, it's so you're pushing someone through a balcony, which would probably hurt a little bit. But then you also, so like the hay is in the back of a trailer, like, you know, a little bit bigger than this table, but not by a lot. And the size of it are like metal bars.
Yeah.
And like, so you have to push them off of the balcony, hold her, twist a little bit, because you got to like, there's a lot of moving around, and things could have gone really, really bad.
Look, I actually would have been okay with it. Look, the visual was great. It's fun. I would have been okay if something happened and the guy had pushed them over the railing. But the fact that Nathan led the charge, like, why?
And before he
I would have
looks
been
at
more
her in the eyes,
Yeah,
and
they
she's
both-
like, we're on the same page. And then I would have loved if they land, and she was like, I thought you were just going to take the gun.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking
I
about?
mean,
Like,
dude,
what in
that
the
would have been
world?
hilarious.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
I would have been more okay if if there was a bunch of hay on the ground or something. The fact that it's in the back of a trailer, like so much could have gone wrong. If they land on that metal bar, she's paralyzed.
Yeah,
like,
at best.
Stuff could have gone real bad. Real bad.
Yeah.
It's a bold
it's
move.
a mess.
It's a bold move. I only got 2 because of the hay afterwards.
Hey.
I already talked about it, is what I'm trying to say. The one scene with Ned in this episode, he went full Canadian.
Yeah,
They
he
come in
did.
and they're like, when are the phones going to be fixed? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just full, like, I've
He
never
forgot
heard
he
it.
was Ned
Yeah, he forgot he was Ned.
for a
And we were just
second.
talking to the guy, which I thought was really funny. And at the end of this episode, you know, they're doing like a montage of like, she's like writing down about how everything is great, blah, blah, blah. And they're showing like all the people from the episode that had, you know, something traumatic going on. Like, hey, here's Lucas, here's Jeanette, here's Gowan. And then it just cuts to Joseph and Minnie dancing. And I thought it was so funny
Yeah,
because
they don't have any clue.
idea about what is what's
None.
happened in Hope Valley. They've just been in the little diner just dancing all night.
He was just finding that nightlight for Lily.
It was so funny. It's just like, here's how all these people are dealing with the traumatic events of the night, and then here's 2 people that are blissfully unaware that anything has happened in their sweet town, and I thought it was very funny. Dano?
Yeah, no one in this entire show decided to come up with a single solitary reason why Lucas is still in town. They've given up that plot entirely. They're not even trying to explain why the governor of a giant province or territory is still in his hometown for the 13th week in a row. And it's crazy. And I'm sure they'll have him there next year. Maybe he'll just stay there and operate from there, and that won't be a problem at all. This whole thing where Jeanette is Shaw, I think somewhere in the writer's room, that was probably a good idea. The problem is that if Jeanette is Shaw, which is fine, that's the truth, then who's this guy who's with her no matter what? This guy, come hell or high water, is working for Jeanette / Shaw. He is shooting the gun. You can incriminate him. Does he know? Does this guy know that she is incriminating him beyond repair? And he's just like, yeah, what are we doing next, boss? Like, what is, if you have this person, you can't say Jeanette is Shaw. You can say that she like made this dude to be Shaw when he's not. But I just, why is he hanging around her? Where's all her help? How did she get such a reputation? Like we've not heard of her until last episode, to be clear, of Shaw. But Lucas says that Shaw is one of the most like wanted criminals this side of the whatever. Like he makes it to be a big deal. And then we see a poster of Shaw and it says it's a $100 reward. Gosh, even in 1920, $100 is not moving the needle. That's under $2,000 modern day. And I believe it was John Mulaney who's like, in the 1920s, gangsters like told you that it was you doing it. Like they would come in and be like, if anyone asks, tell them it was JP and the Scuggins gang. Like this is like, they tell them it was Shaw. It's just weird that no one's ever talked to Shaw, and he's the most known criminal ever, but only worth $100. Man, I got nothing there. None of that makes any sense at all.
It felt close though.
It felt close.
It felt close.
It felt like they had circled an idea, and then they're like, "Hey," like the day of filming, they're like, "Where did we land on this?" And like, we didn't land on this.
I imagine
we circled it, and we never landed on it.
I think we could have. If we were in the room,
we could have made it work.
We could have. Because we're really good writers. We have a ton of credits to our name, and everybody knows us. And so,
but I also think, follow that TV/CGH. I also think that if you wanted to do this, where you create a big bad and then swap it for someone we've known for years, hey, Win Calls a Heart, great idea. How about we get a little of that earlier? How about we start sprinkling that in early in the season? Talk about Shaw. Have somebody get killed or murdered that's just ancillary or just tangential. And then bring Shaw into the discussion. And instead of doing this whole thing with Pike, do it with Shaw and be like, Shaw hired somebody to kill. Imagine how big the payoff would be if we think it's Shaw the whole time and we build up who Shaw is. And it's like, got him. Shaw is somebody I created. It's actually me. That
I think
really
we could all
works.
agree the best version of this is that Gowan
Nathan
is Shaw.
shoots.
Well,
yeah,
yes.
of course. Yeah, Gowan. My gosh.
So imagine Jeanette's in there and she's holding a gun or whatever, and then they're all in a standoff, and Gowan comes in through the back, and it's like, everybody, put your guns down, and because now they trust him. And then
if Gowan was still bad, this would be it.
And then Jeanette goes, "What are you doing here, Shaw?"
I've said it before. I'll say it again. What you're talking about is a better TV
Isn't that good?
show.
The long redemption arc of Gowan to then flip it and make him bad again. Would be...
and then basically the show becomes a once you're bad, you're always bad show, which is like, wow. Man, the philosophical implications there are off the charts. The fact that Bill Avery doesn't tell Rosemary about Casimir Shaw coming to town is absolutely unforgivable. I get it. You're a man and she's not. And in Hope Valley, that means that you think you're better. You've been working on this with her the whole time. You just left her out of a key piece of information that she could help you with. And maybe you dummies wouldn't be off in the woods while the inconspicuous dude in the weird hat is standing over there with a gun.
Hey, Jax, defend your boy in this episode,
please.
No, that was a jerk move. I cannot believe he did that. They've been in cahoots the whole time.
But also,
what is even going on?
2 weeks ago, he's like, I need your brain. They needed her brain. She's smart. She could help you here. I don't get it. You didn't ask that Lee Coulter and Hickam aren't armed. You got Bill Avery and Nathan Grant, and they're like, who should we ask? Hickam. A guy whose voice still cracks. He's going to come help us out in the woods with no gun when Rosemary could probably crack the case.
Yes, and he's had half a bottle of champagne and he's a lightweight.
Yeah.
So he's probably already drunk.
Yes.
It was infuriating enough that they didn't want her brain. But the fact that they didn't even think they need to protect her, that at least would have been the very, yes, patriarchal, but the loving aspect.
Yeah.
But they just literally forgot that other people were present.
Well,
I'm sorry, I can't defend my boy.
That does. Do you have more?
I got one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, my last one is this Randall Rockwell. He comes into town and he does two things immediately. One, I cannot help you today, but I am a handwriting expert is number two. Everyone writes in cursive. It's 1920, Randy. You can't just decide. And then the things he shows that are the same. I mean, it's cursive, buddy. This is not even this is a question of proof at best that you have here. And for him to lock all that up with Rosemary's help in the matter of 10 seconds was just crazy. Just crazy. Sorry, that's all I got.
It's time for Hopes and Valleys, where we talk about what gave us hope for the future and or is bumming us out. Jax?
Okay, so Aaron Craig Cohen and Kevin McGarry did a press tour, and one of the questions they were asked was, will Lori be returning? Will Abigail be returning to Hope Valley? And Aaron was like very adamant about saying she'd love to have her back. They told a cute story when Lori picked up Kevin McGarry to bring him to his chemistry read. And you know what? Like, sure, let's bring her back, you guys. Men have had redemption stories for far less things. Not that what I think she did was right, but also I really want this for Gowan. I want this romance for Gowan. Please bring her back. So that's my hope. My valley is that, I mean, I don't really know what we're going to do in this episode either, other than the wedding. I hope that they don't steal May Mike's thunder and that they actually let them have a lovely. They will. I agree.
This season has not been building to a May Mike wedding.
I hope they do steal.
They never had thunder to steal.
So my biggest hope is that, obviously, we just talked about how we were frustrated about the way that Bill handled things with Rosemary. My hope is that this season ends, and during the off season here, the writers of this here television show realize that they are sitting on gold with Rosemary and Bill doing mystery stuff, and that is like that can they actually. He decides, like, hey, I'm actually going to trust you 100%. Like, I'm going to bring you in on everything. And then next year we get an actual real good case and we let them solve it.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Thank you, Brand.
That's
let them solve it. Let's do this right, because I don't know of anybody that didn't love the two of them working together this season. It was great.
Best part of the season, no question.
Let's run it back. Let's run that particular thing back next season.
Careful with you
Nothing
choose your
else.
words there.
No, we don't need to run anything else back.
Nope,
just that. Dan?
I'm going to take this time to talk about Lori Loughlin because you brought it up. She, not only should she be back on this show, but she is in the last season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, shows up, plays herself, makes fun of the incidents that got her in some hot water, and does it so perfectly that I finished the episode and immediately was like, Bran, we have to get her on this show. She understands the bit. She gets it. She was so self-deprecating, so funny, so talented. And for all the jokes we make about Lori around here, I hope they bring her back, and I want her on this show. And that's really my only hope in a hopeless world of When Calls the Heart.
And I just say, we're cheap. So it won't, you don't have to pay us a lot.
The amount that you would have to bribe us
not
is
a
nothing.
ton.
Now, are we good at rowing? God, no.
No, but that's never stopped me before.
No.
Do we have any What's Calling My Heart emails, Dano?
We do. Tell us what's calling your heart. hello@deckthehallmark.com. Although if you send it now, it might be a bit before we get to it. This is from Kathy Lasota. Dear Bran, Daniel, Aaron, and Jax. What's calling my heart? Bramblefest. Boy, what an email. Man, it's like
Bramblefest.
That's a good job, dude. Yeah,
it's the Bramblefest now.
All of us will be there.
All of us.
That's right. Full disclosure, even though I listen to When Calls the Heart pod episodes, I haven't actually watched the show since before Mountie Jack became Ghost Jack, although I'm still hoping season 12 will be the launching pad for When Calls the Mystery, which will find intrepid reporter Rosemary and retired Mountie Bill discovering Jack actually faked his death and has been living in the newly-ish founded town of Vancouver. I love this idea. But I've been a part of the Double Decker community for a few years now, have met some amazing people, and those people have become friends. And now I'm heading to my first Bramble Fest ever, and we'll be able to see a good amount of them in person. Man, this is exciting. I'm maybe even hoping to convince Daniel to host a live history or his story. Either way, I'm really looking forward to all the shenanigans, the weekend entails, and the donuts. Obviously, Merry Christmas, Kat. Kat, I've got good news for you at least. I'm going to do a history or his story. You talked me into it. It was that easy.
Wow. You know what I just thought of too, and I'm adding this to my hope. We do have a Daniel Lissing, Aaron Crago Christmas movie coming out this year. So he is back in the fold.
Hallmark Good Graces. That's right.
So the Ghost Jack that happened over on the other show that no one cares about, over on another network, is now able, in theory, to come over to the Hallmark Channel and When Calls the Heart. That would,
Ghost Shack lives, is what you're saying.
Ghost Shack lives.
Ghost Shack lives.
I haven't seen the show, but Abigail's in it. I didn't actually see the thing with Ghost Jack, but
But she was only in that episode too, right? Or is she in it?
I don't remember. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, does anything in this season of When Calls the Heart even like acknowledge that anything is happening over there?
I don't know, but what they said they were doing was they said they were picking up season 2 of When Hope Calls, but all they did was shoot a Christmas movie that they said were episodes 1 and 2, and they have not done the rest.
Oh yeah, it was a Christmas movie. That's right, with Ghost Jack. With Ghost Jack. I'm just saying, like, now that he's back in here, we like that hope is now back alive. That Ghost Jack could become a thing.
I never stopped loving Ghost Jack.
I think you can do it. Like, I think they could do it, and it could be a thing that every once in a while they pull out Ghost Jack.
I love it.
So he could give his blessing, do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, but they had such good chemistry. I think it'd be hard to watch that.
That would be really hard.
I think that's the problem. Is everyone in that show has been after the high that was the Krakow-Lissing chemistry.
Yeah.
Period.
Like, go ahead, Aaron. Hello.
Well, back to what Jack said earlier is we can't have like a happily married Elizabeth. She and Nathan are going to get engaged. We're going to go along. But here's the thing. We never saw a body of Jack.
I love
So we're not bringing back Ghost Jack. He's been off somewhere with no memory. He got hit by a bunch of rocks. He's coming back.
Freaking go.
Elizabeth and Nathan not married again.
And then she does a
Back to
full
Jack.
choosing thing again at the end of the season. She chooses Lucas again. It's going to be unbelievable.
And then we make it to season 20 and
No, dude, if they do that, if they bring back Jack,
best show ever.
Oh man, I'm all in.
I mean, Daniel
If
Lissing
Ga-
is
if
now
Gowan
looking
is
for
the
work.
bad guy and Jack is alive. I love this show. I'm back in.
Gowan is a
they
bad
could
guy.
do it. Like, they can do it. Like, I will say the one thing that we learned between this whole Lucas Nathan thing and her being with Lucas and then just leaving and saying I never actually liked you shows that this show is willing to soap opera it up.
Yeah.
Like, we can bring back Jack and we can have ourselves a good
Maybe
time.
he has a twin.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Jake from State Farm.
Jake and Jack, baby.
Jake.
Man,
Old Jake.
this has got me excited for the future.
Me too.
I'm back, baby.
I'm back.
There it is.
Woo!
Stupid.
All right. Well, we got one more episode left, and then we're done. We're gonzo. We're out of here
That's right.
for another year, and then we'll do it all over again. Anyway, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Rainbow
Get out
Jam
of it.
podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to BrambleJamPlus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.